Hey there, financial enthusiasts, and welcome back to the channel for some more stock market news updates. Recently, the US stock market skyrocketed to incredible new heights, leaving investors on the edge of their seats. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was ablaze with energy. It blazed a trail of success, marking its best day of the year and its sixth consecutive day of gains, which is fantastic news for investors. More good news is that according to JP Morgan Chase and their analysis of 9 million Chase customers, Americans are sitting pretty with approximately 10% to 15% more in their bank accounts compared to 2019. And that's not all. The tides are turning in favor of the workforce. After 2 years of lagging behind inflation, wages are finally rising faster than prices. Last month, hourly wages increased by a phenomenal 4%, while consumer goods prices climbed a mere 3%. So this is a huge victory for the American worker. However, it's not all smooth sailing in the financial world. The latest data released by the Fed reveals that more Americans are experiencing loan rejections, reaching the highest levels since 2018. Therefore, it has been harder for those with lower credit scores to obtain capital to pay off higher interest debts. As if that weren't enough, pandemic-related saving programs are winding down, such as the student loan moratorium, which is bad news for student loan borrowers, but it is great news for investors who have invested in third-party student loan refinancers like Sofi Technologies. But let's shift gears and turn our attention to some groundbreaking medical news. Eli Lilly, a pharmaceutical powerhouse, just announced the results of clinical trials for their Alzheimer's treatment. This incredible pharmaceutical has shown the ability to slow down the progression of the disease by a third, and even up to a staggering 60% in certain patients during the early stages. Donanemab joins the ranks of Leqembi as the second effective treatment for Alzheimer's, both of which target the notorious amyloid plaque in the brain. Eli Lilly has submitted its application to the FDA, eagerly awaiting a decision by year-end. So this is fantastic news for LLY stockholders. Now, let's rev our engines and zoom into the world of electric vehicles. Global sales of EVs have tripled since 2020, thanks to major players like Tesla, Ford, and GM investing billions in ramping up production. However, there's a twist. EV inventories are starting to outpace demand, resulting in a slowdown this year. Picture this. US car dealers currently have a jaw-dropping 92,000 EVs sitting on their lots, a threefold increase from just a year ago. Over 90 new EV models are set to hit the market by 2026. As the EV landscape expands, car makers are lowering prices to stay ahead of the pack. It's a race to the finish line, and no one can rely solely on premium prices anymore. Tesla, for instance, achieved record deliveries in the latest quarter after slashing prices on its popular Model 3 and Model Y by a whopping 20% in January. However, these price cuts will put a dent in profits, as evidenced by the nearly 6% drop in Ford shares following their own discount announcement. Either way, exciting times lie ahead for the EV market. Speaking of Tesla, they're planning to double the size of their German gigafactory so they can produce up to 1 million EVs per year there. While they've received tentative approval for some changes, full approval awaits the completion of an environmental impact study. Now let's tune into the world of streaming and gaming. Netflix, the streaming giant, has been on a mission to maximize profits. From cracking down on password sharing to rolling out an ad tier, they're leaving no stone unturned. But the real game changer is their foray into the gaming industry. Since introducing mobile games in 2021, Netflix's games division has exploded with a library of 67 titles and a team of 450 employees. Netflix plans to launch a staggering 40 games this year alone. Their latest release, Oxenfree 2, has already hit multiple platforms, and they're even working on a high-budget title from the masterminds behind Halo and Overwatch. So far, their games have been downloaded a whopping 44 million times, approximately once per every 100 subscribers. And many analysts think that this is just the beginning of their gaming empire. Next up, let's turn our attention to a couple of financial updates. Morgan Stanley, a prominent financial institution, has increased its price target on Apple. They're now projecting a target of $220, up from $190, while maintaining their overweight rating. What's even more exciting is the potential growth in India, which Morgan Stanley predicts could contribute to 15% of Apple's revenue growth and a staggering 20% of install growth over the next 5 years. So, the tech giant's prospects are looking brighter than ever. In other news, Goldman Sachs has revised its U.S. recession odds for the next 12 months, slashing them to a mere 20% from the previous 25%. It seems the outlook is becoming increasingly optimistic, which should cause the stock market to rally. However, despite this great news, some stocks hit new lows like Verizon, AT&T, Bristol-Myers, and Nokia. On the other hand, Airbnb recently reached a new 52-week high, which is fantastic news for their shareholders. In other stock news, Cathie Wood's ARK Invest has decreased its stake in Twitter by 47% since Elon Musk took over the company. Plus, Cathie Wood of ARK Invest also sold 45,184 shares of Tesla stock. In earnings news, Palantir, the data analytics company, has announced that it will be revealing its Q2 earnings after the market closes on Monday, August 7th. So it's time to crunch those numbers to see where Palantir stands. And lastly, here's some exciting news for Rivian investors. Georgia's Supreme Court has refused to hear an appeal contesting the legitimacy of Rivian's expected property tax breaks for their upcoming $5 billion EV facility. This is a giant win for investors in Rivian. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more thrilling updates because the world of stocks and investments never fails to amaze us. Remember to go like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Happy investing!